Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Ace and Nectar Heroes of the Storm Casting Podcast. I'm Selectar, he's still Ace, and Ace, it's been a minute.
Yeah, we got busy. We're doing things, you know. It's okay that I have obligations every evening for like 3 weeks straight. It's fine. We're here with our A East match tonight between Midnight of Mummies and Durotan's Couch. I know it's a rematch from at least some point last season.
It would have been a rematch from 2 points last season. Durotan's Couch played them obviously during the regular season as well as semifinals of the playoffs.
BE semifinals.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember that is how many times I heard Boris Hosen editing a video.
I will not be calling him that. Because I believe it's not intended that way. Both teams' rosters are slightly different. We got Midnight of Mummies picking up Shui and Andrew. I think they're formerly Regen players, but don't quote me on that. Durotan's Couch picking up Shoepuff and Goliath. Goliath, I think, was always on the roster, but wasn't an active player last season. But this season has been a much more active role, and Shoepuff is new to the Couch as well, I believe.
That is correct. So both teams with 3 returners, 2 new players meeting in a new division. So we will have to see how that goes today.
Yeah, and before we get on into everything, we have a... I believe you were not here for any portion of the map pick.
I sure wasn't.
Cool. Then for you and for anyone in the audience, although they can already see it on the screen by the time they're hearing this, the coin toss was won by Durotan's Couch. Midnight of Mummies banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Alterac Pass. Durotan's Couch banning out both maps that start with T, and we find ourselves on Cursed Hollow for map number 1 as chosen by Midnight of Mummies.
Now, again, I was numbing my face before the series. Do you have any data on these teams and match history on this map?
I do not. Didn't have as much time as I would normally have liked to be prepared for that kind of scouting.
That's okay.
Thank you, Bad Soda, for the follow. I have heard through the grapevine and also being a former Durotan's Couch member and still having access to their team chat that they might be looking to do something a little out of their stylistic character in tonight's match. I don't want to be more specific than that in case anyone from Midnight of Mummies is listening, but if you think you know what to expect from Durotan's Couch, we might have a surprise for you.
Sounds good. We are going ahead and getting it started now. So game 1 here on Cursed Hollow with some possibly spicy picks here. I know the Couch has favored some of the bigger maps recently. And, no, we'll have to see if that works out for them. Having a little bit of a tough time in AE so far this season, but always a capability to get the winnings started.
Yeah, Durotan's Couch are a team with a lot of variability. They can, on a good day, take some very impressive wins. They can, on a bad day, have some startling losses. So we're going to have to see which iteration, what form of Durotan's Couch is playing tonight. Midnight of Mummies, I'm a little bit less familiar with this season, but they were always a very consistent and a very strong, aggressive team last season.
Yep, they do know how to team fight very effectively, as we see a first ban Rhaegar from the Couch coming out. Rhaegar is good on the camps. Camps good on map. That's a reasonable ban. I think that's
people
fine.
just like Rhaegar.
People like Rhaegar. So
He's
no problem with that.
He has not really fallen out too much in popularity, even after successive nerfs.
Well, he still remains at the very top of the win rate chart for healers, if I remember correctly. So why would they?
In Storm League, I know that that's true. It's been a minute
Correct.
since I've checked the hero statistics for NGS games.
Very true.
You know, also it's Mom's most played healer.
There you go. So
banning out 2 of their top 3 with the Johanna, though. Come on, every team plays Johanna.
yeah, Johanna means family, and the family is everybody plays it.
I thought it was nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Your family might have a different saying. So, we do have 2 games of the couch on this map, including a Hogger and a Tychus making an appearance in both of them with a different tank, camp hero, and a healer being different each time. So, those are both fairly recent, so they might be, indicative. Meanwhile, Midnight and Mummies with a pair of games as well has gone the Mega Global with Falstad to Haka Rag before. That one didn't work out very well for them. They did have recent success with Maiev Tracer as the DPS core against Academic Probation.
God, that's just a thanks I hate it with Dahaka, Ragnaros, and Falstad. And yes, he was Lava Wave. This is not a Cho'Gall's Angel special. Going in for the Greymane, which is a hero I've seen Afish playing a little bit more of this season than last season. Played very consistent poke mages in Season 13, but he's been more of a flex this season. And going into the double global already with Brightwing Dahaka.
Yep, that seems to be Midnight and Mummies' a little more of a planned strategy for a lot of these big maps. Is almost always take a global here. Just looking at their match history, they do have a lot of those just all over the place with Deathwing on Alterac Pass, for example, also accompanying. So lots and lots of globals, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Falstad taken out here in the ban phase.
By Mom or by DC?
By Mom.
So
or by either, but I think they want to secure their double global advantage.
I don't even know if they need to, given the heroes that DC already have showing. I don't think that you shove a Falstad in there.
I don't think you have to, but I think it's always a consideration. So, ETC and Lucio. ETC is a little bit on the weaker side of tanks right now, but also does have one of the more reliable engages and has a little more mobility. So that's fairly reasonable, and Lucio always a fairly strong pick. It's a Dibbles ban. I think that's quite reasonable, as this map does take place in a lot of corridors and wall-bangable locations. Yeah, and so does a Lucio. Lucio always hangs out in wall-bangable locations.
Yeah, it's kind of like his whole trait is being a Shadow Charge target.
Varian and Ming to go for the blow-up combo. That's a tried and true taunt Varian and Ming blow-up target. So it's just, what does their accompanying DPS decide to take?
It does. It is a bit of a suspect pick going Varian into Lucio, as Lucio is often thought of as a reasonable counter to taunt Varian. However, there's a nice 5-level span where that just isn't true yet.
Yeah, that is very true. Kira picked up for Shoepuff. Now, I believe that is new onto the Durotan's Couch roster as of NGS. It is. No, it isn't. 2 games played already this season. Can't find it. There, early on against First Ban Cho'Gall and Death and Delay. First Ban Cho'Gall we can almost throw out as a data point. And Death and Delay, probably a little bit of a closer map. So, will be interesting to see Shoepuff work that here.
And Boris picking up the Sylvanas, another quite reasonable follow-up to Taunt Varian, but also big map plus split push go Burr. No surprise to see that. Ace, would you mind getting the prediction started?
Absolutely, good call.
Oh, and try to remind me between games to run ads so people aren't getting freaking pre-rolls and mid-rolls and stuff.
Yeah, good call. And if you don't want ads at all, just subscribe to Ektar.
Yeah, subscribe to the guy that streams twice a month, Forehead. Don't do that. Okay, support someone who streams for real.
Well, look, if you value not having ads, you can do that. That's a 5-minute prediction. Let's see if I can...
yeah, you should just
who cares? It'll be fine.
Yeah. Does Nitro still stop ads?
Yeah, but you have to get that independently, and it's very dumb.
Alrighty, spawning on the left-hand side in the Cyan trunks, they are Midnight of Mummies, formerly Masters of Mayhem, with Boris Shoes playing the Sylvanas. Bricky is on the presumably Taunt variant, Andrew on Li Ming, Huckett on Brightwing, and at the top we've got Shui playing Dahaka.
And on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we do have Durotan's Couch for the 14th time in season in NGS. We've got Goliath on Lucio, Wildcard on the Kael'thas, Fish on Greymane, Captain Wedge on ETC, and Shootpuff on the Kira. And we don't see any Sylve Cheese coming out early.
No Sylve Cheese coming out. We've got, is that Rockstar? Is that what it's called? Block Party coming out from
Block Party.
ETC. I mean, you're gonna have people being taunted by Varian, so they're gonna get some auto attacks. But a little bit of an interesting talent choice.
And the interesting one, I think, is Maximum Effort on Kira. It does not start the auto attack build. She has Finishing Touch at level 1, which just gives 20% basic attack damage. So it's an interesting non-choice, almost, that was taken, because usually offlane Kira does go into the auto attack build.
Yeah, a lot of actually interesting talent choices coming out. We've got the level 1 Q talent coming out from Li Ming. Goliath is going to get caught a little bit, but only a little bit. As well as the Overpower coming out from Varian. Even with taunt builds, you tend to see the Lion's Fang talent on 1.
Yeah, but Overpower isn't unreasonable with taunt builds. I think it used to be the most common, and I still think lots of people prefer it. There is no response here to this bottom lane. I've just been sitting on it for about 20 seconds, and Borshoes plus Goliath are having fun. There's a disconnect from Fish on the camp. That's actually going to set Durotan's Couch back a lot.
Putting us on the between game screen, so people can't check the stream. Fish got hit with a bit of lag. I don't think Fish is subjected to the Canadian internet, is he?
I think you are correct. I'm glad that, you know, the first thing we both thought of was Canadian internet, but no, it's American, distinctly American.
Yeah. I mean, he said he has football games on. That could still be a Canadian thing.
But there are only 2. I mean, it could be.
We are
with
not
ESPN.com
referees, so we're going to have to let the teams finagle this one out amongst themselves.
There are 2 NFL teams playing tonight, so that does explain it.
Alrighty, Goliath very low, Boris Shoes quite low, but is going to get saved by Brightwing. Shootpuff going in on Varian, but really not enough health to do much more than move them away from the wall, but towers were going to do that anyway.
I don't think the Brightwing actually got the port. I think Wildcard got the interrupted mid lane with Lapse.
Ooh, definitely did. This is the most time I've spent in bot lane at the start of the game. Big Brightwing port is going to save Bricky there. Pause saved my life. Yeah, probably.
Might have saved Goliath too.
We do have both teams starting the camps. We got Borishu's taking the siege camp, and Fish is working on the camp, Bruiser camp, but Goliath is going to need to help him tank some of that damage. Goliath, tank some of that damage. Thank you.
Working on it. Fish is going to Hearth anyway, so it's fine. It's fine, right, Fish?
He doesn't need to Hearth. He just hangs out near Goliath and gets that globe.
It's half mana. There's nothing to do on the map. Hearth and push into mid.
I mean, he's a Greymane. He can actually push into mid with this, and
Beep already, come on. Anyway, we're waiting for the curse to pop up. It's early on as it shows its face, or announces its face here. Nice push off. Not push off. Soundwave? Is that his cue? Soundwave.
Yeah.
From Goliath to keep the variant off of him. He's just going to take a taunt, but no follow-up available just yet.
Yeah, and, you know, because they have Fish here, he's able to continue pushing in and get most of this.
He could already be back! Mounts aren't slow, Ektar.
They're slower than they used to be, Ace.
Didn't they rebuff the speed as far as, like, overall? I think they just did a 10%, like, global speed buff. Yeah. Oh, Andrew's in a really wacky spot and gets rotated on. Nice push off from Goliath, who's going to secure that as first blood of the game. Taunt went out onto Wedge, I believe, but they're going to be caught in a really bad spot. Nice 2-person lapse from Wildcard. Now the chase is on. It's who gets hit, Bricky or Huckett. Right now the damage is split, and Shoepuff is all of a sudden dropping very low. Going to go ahead and make it out. And Varian goes down as 5 people from the couch confirm that kill. And Dahaka just continues to push in the top.
Yeah, that was really well identified by Durotan's couch, noticing just how split the leaning was, and really capitalizing out. Without having the Aether Walker, she only had the 1 blink available, and we do have a bit of a rotation into the top lane. Wedge and Wildcard putting some serious damage into Shui.
He does he have the spell armor talent? No, I just saw some armor from something. I'm not sure.
On the other side, we do have Huckett and Boris Shoes taking their Bruiser camp. Their opponents had already gotten theirs, so potentially this will be pushing still during the second objective, as it is just timing up now.
Couch macro habits are rather solid from what I've seen throughout this season, so they have no issue making camp timings work and things like that. I think most of their issues either been in couple team fights around or with just pushing advantages, but nonetheless, you can see the camp advantage workings. Their siege camp is already up again, and it's a nice spot to do things. There's a taunt onto Shoepuff, gonna not actually dodge any of that, is going to die at the end of that revolving sweep. Shoes does get a heal from Brightwing, and Afish going to escape. No, does not get out. Very in charge. Too much, and now this is a huge push into mid lane.
Yeah, Wedge getting taunted as well. Dahaka is working on channeling, but I believe it's Wildcard. Yeah, Wildcard is going to get the interrupt there. Midnight of Mummies should probably get this channel eventually, but they really wanted to use their Bruiser Camp and Sylph trait to make sure they could get as much value as they could off of that, because they were already going to get the objective anyway. There's no need to do it fast.
Yep, they definitely got a lot out of that. The entire mid wall is already down, which does bring it into parity with their own wall, but nonetheless. Wildcard's actually getting rotated on by Shui. I think missed a tongue or something.
Yeah, Shui did go for a tongue drag attempt, but did miss.
The couch, though, is not respecting the Sylph Death Ball right now, as looks like Midnight Mummies are just running into that top lane. Drop the Sylph trait, and they're going to do a ton of damage to this fort. I don't think it's going to go down here, although they can surely contest. But that's a lot of free siege damage.
Yeah, we do have a level 10 Zine Goliath playing very far forward because he can see Taunt Varian in the bottom lane. It's the only person who can really shut him down particularly well, especially since they already saw the Mind Control go out, not having it available. Durotan's Couch, however, are going to go and take their boss. The members of Midnight Mummies don't seem like they either know that this is happening or want to try something with Brightwing and Varian both in bot lane.
Yeah, and Brightwing did the port too, so she cannot be in this fight. So this is actually a very astute move from the couch, as even if Wildcard shows, it does not matter. Afish is going to rip that down, and that's a very, very good boss pickup there once that Brightwing port got reported.
Yeah, especially because it's in such a bad spot for them to fight over this objective anyway. They might try to poke this out, but...
Ooh, Wedge.
Ooh, Wedge goes in all by his lonesome, does get taunted down to about 60% health, and buys the opportunity for Boris Shoes to get a very quick channel. I think DC really wanted to try to get some interrupts there so that boss could push without contest.
This is looking a little bit suspect here. Wedge is actually going to rotate down. Nice Emerald Wind from Huckett is going to deny the engage. That's a kill onto Brightwing final. Strike goes onto Boris Shoes. Goliath takes a lot of damage, but is going to make it out. Third kill onto the Sylvanas with the go for the throat. And it is the couch making a nice off. Goliath.
That's Alicio, who had just a little bit too much faith in smooth moves.
Yeah, just a little bit. That was...
But that means that they can't actually go onto this boss, I don't think. They will get recontested on and beaten out in numbers. If they try,
although I think the tribute is a little bit more important here, because it would be the third for Midnight Mummies.
True. We got Shoepuff and Bricky going mano a mano just a little bit, but this should very convincingly go over in Durotan's Couch's favor. I don't really want to see Shui come in here and try to make something happen. He's coming in here to try to make something happen. And that was either super clutch by Shui, or it was, well, what happened? One of the two with nothing in between.
Oh, that was... It wasn't even the Dahaka that got the interrupt. It was a wave of force from Li Ming, but nonetheless, the prophecy foretold the death of the Dahaka, and so it came true, and now Durotan's couch is going to go and drop the eyes emoji on the bottom boss again.
Yeah, Jakey pointing out interesting level 4 on Li Ming. It's not, I don't think it's that uncommon.
No, not with Calamity.
But the level 7 on Kel'Thas, or the level 4 on Kel'Thas is a little bit more interesting. I'd almost...
Level 7 on KT.
Yeah,
which, again, it's...
Oh, he said 7. I find this 4 interesting. I almost always want to see range because it makes it just easier to hit because the projectile is faster.
I like the I like this one against like taunt variant engages because you can just hit them every 5 seconds with a lapse. It's really effective at denying a bunch of engages and handling backline threats more than once every 13 seconds.
Alright, but we're going to go ahead and hide talents because it really looks like both teams are trying to make something happen here. It is Curse for whichever team gets the channel. There we see Goliath getting the cleanse onto Afish as we kind of expected to see based off of the draft. Morris is not going to get a full Banshees out and is very likely going to be the first taken down, but Wedge is quite low already.
Yeah, nice rotation to go ahead and put the damage down below, force a Brightwing port, and then get him from above. Wedge going to go for the Mosh, grabs a pair. Varian's going to make himself the third, and this could be absolutely huge. Shui going to go down. Huckett going to go ahead and get taken down as well. 3 players down for Midnight Mummies, and they are cursed, so they are in a terrible spot. 4 down now. So that means the couch is able to do anything they want on the map uncontested for the next long time, and the only thing Midnight Mummies has going for them is Berserk Cape and mid.
I really like that they didn't chase down Varian. What does killing Varian get for them here? Certainly it gets them less than this keep is going to give them. They're positioning forward. They look like they want to try to get a pick. If they don't, they're going to back up, and that will be absolutely fine for them.
So it would be kind of funky. I kind of want them to get mid-keep, even though they don't have mid-fort yet. I'd like for them to at least... they probably can't. At least not safely with everyone up. I'd like to see something else. This is completely fine, though. They're up level 16. This is a dangerous fight for Midnight Mummies. If they do get wiped, they are going to be in a really bad spot. I like that spot from Wedge where he zoned as well. As the isolation comes in, Greymane gets absolutely obliterated by the combination of the isolation plus the Emerald Wind. Counter kill, though, onto Li Ming is going to even up this fight. Where's my cursor? Shootpuff is going to go down, Wedge is going to go down, and all of a sudden, Midnight Mummies fights right back. Goliath trying to get Wildcard out, but he is, with Soundwave, maybe going to get that to happen.
Wildcard, don't throw out extra Qs, you don't need it. Alright, there's the speed. That will be enough to get him all the way out of there.
And look at that, a second lapse back-to-back. Very nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as it was happening, I'm not a huge fan of this boss. Yeah, they're up 16, but is it worth taking that even of a fight? And as it turns out, it was a very good fight if you're a fan of Midnight of Mummies, although Wildcard is doing a lot of damage with these ignites. Shui is looking to get a tongue, and tongue will spill death. Oh,
too much.
They didn't get the follow-on CC, though.
What? No! No! Stop! Sun King's Fury, the KT-7, goes ahead, does extra spread damage, and that results in the kill and the boss being leashed. I thought Goliath was dead. He's going to get punished for his hubris, but instead, almost was punished for his hubris.
Can we just get off this side of the map, please? Please?
No, Shootpuff's going to go in. Going to go ahead and drop the Revolving Sweep. Does do a nice job dropping the Emerald Wind to counter that, along with the Critterize for minus 25 armor. Wedge is going to go for the Mosh. Does peel enough for Shootpuff. That's a kill. On to Dahaka. Please just walk out. You can't get anything here, Couch.
Yeah.
And they do just that. Are they going to get the boss,
Are they?
though?
They could still just go on this boss. They're gonna. I guarantee it.
I know they can't, right? Midnight Mummies is going to go ahead and take the curse. I guess that doesn't do a whole lot.
Doesn't it? This is a decision that we'll have to watch back in post to see if it was right or not. I don't think it is.
They don't interrupt this.
But
no, there's no way. Because Borscht is going to take this, and that's going to be a 5v5 with a curse. I guess I could just eat this curse up a player for now, and the bottom lane, I mean, the bottom lane's not going anywhere. So they only have to defend the top 2, so yeah, maybe this works out for the couch.
This is so weird. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I actually think this is going to work out quite well for them.
Did they have a top fort still? Did that just go down, or did that go down more?
No, they took that down earlier. They've lost nothing so far.
Okay.
I actually think this is going to work stellarly. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Stellarly? That is too many L's next to each other. For the couch, they're going to pick up their own boss while they are cursed to show you the position they feel that they're in right now.
Yeah, having now seen the way that these events transpired, I think that was a totally reasonable play. It would have only been bad if Midnight and Mummies identified it and fought them on boss. But even then, they were down a player. I don't think they were going to. I think it works out.
Oh,
just
they had
fine
to
for them.
defend. They had to defend boss on their core lane is the big part. So yeah, I think this is a great decision from the couch, and it worked out excellently for them. Now, they are most of the way to 20, but most of the way to the 20 doesn't give you most of a 20 talent tier. It gives you none of it, so I'm curious how much I want to commit here.
I think that they don't want to unless they happen to find something, and I mean, they've got Mosh off cooldowns, so
20.
They do have 20s now. It's still a little bit scary
Or
pushing
bus.
in. They get a tongue, but it's going to get almost immediately cleansed out. I don't think they can really look unless they find a nice big Ignite-empowered Flame Strike here.
Well, they do have the flamethrower to try and at least poke it out from distance, and Wedge has the tour bus to make some funky moshes happen.
We do have a nice
sus.
little death... A-Fish, what are you doing? You are not... This is wrong. This is wrong what you're doing, A-Fish.
Going. Yeah. Whoa, mind control lands out. There goes the unstoppable, so the high five making that happen. We do have mixing fire to reduce the cooldown to be faster than the variant taunt cooldown now.
Yeah.
Which is an important breakpoint, I think.
I would like to see Durotan's couch just stay and take this mid fort, or at least put some pressure into it. They could see Brightwing. They knew that the rest of the team had taken some damage. Clearing this camp out is great, but actually getting some more damage onto the fort would be even better, I feel.
Yeah, this is just kind of obstructing a lot of rotations. I don't think it's a huge commitment. Okay, Wedge, if you're going to take that much damage, maybe it is. That's the full mirror ball hitting. I don't think that works on forts dealing extra damage. It does extra damage to enemy heroes below that much health.
I think it was just to force Andrew back a little bit. We do have a very aggressive rotation coming in. Decided not to rip it, doubling back a little bit. Probably just to get the team physically together a bit more, dropping the Phoenix so they can secure the damage onto this keep. Unless they take some really big hits here, I think they should just be able to kind of have this over time.
Gonna be a lot of flame strikes though. Flame strike does 757 here, so it's 6 flame strikes. Should take probably 5. Yeah, it's 5 flame strikes, but yeah.
Yeah, opting not to take it instead. There are ways where this favors Durotan's couch because they are so far ahead on the map, but it gets level 20s for Midnight and Mummies, who have the presence of mind to check this bush because Captain Wedge was definitely hanging out there, seeing if they could get a cheeky mosh pit. And, you know, there's a lot of things that can be said about Varian's banners. Using them for scouting is, I think, a much less common application, but when it works, you're very thankful you have it.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Gives a little bit of a vision radius as well, as opposed to any doubt created by a strange Q hit. So, yep. Game slowing down to the post-20 glacial pace, albeit the couch has had the advantage the entire time, which feels a little funky. They haven't found anything to force, but nothing's really forced Midnight and Mummy's hand.
True, but they will be picking up the level 20s, which will give them finally an opportunity to take an even fight, which they really haven't been able to do for quite a long time. We see Durotan's couch positioning up around their Blizzard camp. I think they were probably also checking what the boss timing was. Really nothing on the map other than this Blizzard camp for a couple of seconds, as the next thing up is boss in the bottom lane.
Going to be a tough one for the couch to do anything about, but I don't think anybody's going to be taking it anytime soon because of Curse. Really? Is that Emerald Wind for damage because it's a 5-second cooldown?
This is risky.
It's very risky. There's
Also,
the Emerald
yeah,
Wind.
it does appear to be.
5-second cooldown, though. That's going to work out, at least as far as picking it up, but Borshoes is in trouble. Dahaka actually also going to be taken out. There's a lapse onto Bricky, is going to maybe get him out. Puckett barely dodges that, but look at this bottom wave, Ektar. That might be enough to end without a Dahaka.
Honestly, yeah, I don't even hate this for Durotan's catch, and they're pushing up very aggressively, looking to see if they can secure the kill onto Borshoes. They do still have Varian. If he can get a taunt onto one of those armor cut zones, that is a very dead hero. They also have a basic ability, Mind Control. Bricky is going to find a taunt, but don't find any follow-up damage. The shielding is starting to fall, and those giants are getting damage in as well.
Yeah, catapults and tall catapults doing a bunch of damage towards the core as it drops below 50%. Andrew going to go ahead. Can't get the leaning pop-off that he wants, and this, with a decisive core call off a kill, is game one going to Durotan's couch.
Yeah, you were right. Mom had the tools to get the boss, but then you always have to ask the caster question, at what cost?
The game, Ektar.
As
the
it turns out,
here.
the game.
Or a Dahaka that led to the game. Maybe they should have forced Couch into the funnel a little bit farther or something like that. Maybe the geometry of that was a little weird.
I think that Shui popped the essence a little bit late as well. It's hard to make that call at the time, but yeah, it was a full bar because he didn't have any of the solid blue to start with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. So nice pickup for the Couch. Wins have been somewhat hard to come by this season, so good for them. And, you know, root for Game 3.
And in the interest of rooting for Game 3 and not having advertisements, we're going to play one right now. I'm so sorry.
I think it's a 1 minute that you probably need, but nonetheless.
The button has been pushed for the, 7 Ektar subs in the world. You won't be seeing this, but everybody else will. Hopefully, it just prevents them from happening during the other games.
Oh, let's hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Trying to up the production value here, at least through the games, so that way any joiners don't have to sit through however many minutes of ads to the 30-second ad to be able to see how the game's going.
When did Afish get, a dozen fans?
No idea. Definitely not Korean, that's for sure.
All right. Do we have any inkling yet of what's going on with game number 2?
I have no inklings currently. I hear they've all been ported to the new Splatoon game.
Yeah, you know, they had a real flash in the pan at the start of Smash Ultimate, but then they fell off real hard and have retreated back to their own franchise.
That's a very reasonable place for them to go. But they're very adorable, and I've heard good things about Splatoon 3.
I've seen a lot of people playing it. I've never played a Splatoon game before, but...
I have for a short time. It was an experience.
It's weird. It's like Nintendo wanted to make a shooter game without the violence.
Yeah, so it's just paintball. I mean, that's really what paintball is in real life, a shooter game without, the lethal violence. So. Well, we've made it to Dragonshire, as opted by the Couch. Which, you know me. I'm a fan of the map.
I know you are, because you have a particular set of skills that serves you very well on this map.
That involves both taking camps, hand soaking, and sometimes even fighting.
I think they're all Afish alts. That's awesome.
That would be relevant to recent events.
I mean, I wouldn't be all that surprised if Afish and A-Boats were the same person.
Afish and A-Boats.
Yeah, they're both in the chat
right
now.
True. And have you ever seen them in the same room?
I don't think I have.
Crazy.
So I had seen Durotan's Couch expressing they might want to play more aggressive drafts, and I think they definitely hit that in the last game.
I thought their positioning was really solid. And in some of the fights I lost, I thought it was pretty good. And this is I think I want to give a big clap to Goliath on that one for really nullifying the engages of Midnight Mummies. Now, drafted the variant after the Lucio. I don't know particularly what you want, but he was very disciplined in making sure you only press the R button for the taunt or the mind control.
I hadn't I hadn't paid super close attention. I hadn't really realized until just now that Wildcard is not their offlane player this season.
Correct. It's been offlane by committee a little bit, I believe. Shootpuff does a good bit of offlaning, and I think that's their main offlaner, but depending on who's in and who's out in the rotating couch, it changes up. We've seen Wedge do it before. We've seen Wildcard, I believe.
Wildcard has also played a number of heroes that can functionally exist in the offlane. You know, Zagara, Tychus, Junkrat, Hammer, Falstad. Like, they can all be there, especially on a map like Cursed Hollow or Alterac Password's Giant, and you can't really soak it with a 4-stack very well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally put Kael'thas in that same bucket of heroes, but we saw it.
I mean, he can gate soaked, but when Midnight and Mummies ran up in top lane with Sylve,
there really wasn't a lot
they pretty much just ran that down. So, yeah, not a whole lot that the Kael did minus that. But nonetheless, making it happen made a little better of a teamfight draft workout due to their ability to take hits but not lose on them with the Kael'thas.
Beginning to see some very similar looking bands for the first series. I think Rhaegar's maybe I was going to say maybe a little less good, but no, that's actually not true. He's just as good, if not maybe better, because the map is a little smaller. Yeah. But it's hard to rotate people out because bottom lane is so important that having a healer better on camps can be very strong. So, I like the continued Rhaegar bans.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. One other thing I think we've both identified as being is watching some of these AES games, especially with Couch, is that they've had a tough time capitalizing on some of their victories through team fights and other just advantageous states this season. That game seemed very differently, like the Couch was very aggressively going after advantages. Getting that keep down early and then pushing core with just one down, knowing that they have good core burn, is a very solid choice from them.
I wonder if they were inspired by the post-match games from last week. Because that was the first time I saw them talking about maybe playing aggressive comps. For reals, for real.
Did we accidentally make them the most powerful team?
We have unlocked their greater power. I hadn't had the opportunity to mention yet, Kira banned out this game, really respecting the engage potential Durotan's Couch had in the previous game.
Yeah, taking some of that power out of Shootpuff's hands, and a very nasty offlane pick, or matchup for about 50% of the roster. So,
yeah, it's hard to beat Kira in the offlane.
Yep, especially Dahaka doesn't do it, so if they want to take Dahaka for the global here, then they really have to ban out that Kira, and that is a hero I have not seen in a long time.
Tassadar?
Tassadar.
I love Tassadar, man. I don't think he's actually amazing in a lot of cases. I think his numbers are just a bit too low in a lot of cases. And picking him up this early, I don't super love. Like, he's most effective, I think, when you're able to get him in Q build and he could just throw out laser after laser without being threatened. Picking him this early means that Durotan's Couch has time to respond and find a hero that threatens him.
Now, I know the Couch cannot, or does not have such a player, but if I were seeing a Tassadar, I would be drooling at my keyboard to play an Alarak game.
Yeah.
Because that long chakra animation is just pull combo potential for days. And it's very easy to threaten the Tassadar range with Alarak.
Yeah. And I think one of the other heroes that is a strong counter to Tassadar who isn't just an inherently really strong hero, Stitches.
True.
Like, you can so easily hook Tassadar if he's just positioned. Okay, they're not going Stitches.
No. Okay.
I have thoughts.
I have those as well. So I was looking up some Tassadar stats real quick, just because I was going to go see how he does. Because I think his windups are long and all of that stuff, and he has a lot of counterplay. I did not realize that Hero's profile added a wood league below bronze for their statistics.
Yes, I remember seeing that a while ago.
That
is a lot of
damage.
Commitment to countering Cho'Gall. I kind of hope that the Leoric has nothing to do with Cho'Gall and is just something Borishoes feel they can do 1v1 versus Hogger. I don't know the off-lane matchups well enough to know if that's correct or not.
It's fine for Leo.
Yeah, I would guess that it's probably fine.
What is this draft?
Oh, this is so...
Alright.
This is weird. I want Midnight of Mummies to win this because I think their comp is just better.
Yes, by a lot. They don't have a damage dealer besides Gaul. How are they going to take camps?
Yeah, that's...
Like,
you know,
how are they going to take a bottom siege camp? How are they going to soak a lane? What is this draft?
Because they go Bribewing. Why is Wildcard on Brightwing, by the way?
They get one win. They're like, well, we've won it all. Let's go ahead and pack this up. Make sure we're ready. What the heck is this? This is what we expected to see in the post-match.
Welcome to the Ace and Nectar Daily, where normally we learn to be better gamers, but today's Fun Day Monday, where we decide to fuck around. So spotting on the right-hand side, in the orange trunks, the team willing to fuck around for points, it is Durotan's couch with Shoepuff playing the Hog Champ, Captain Wedge is on May, Wildcard is on Brightwing, and Gulhish playing Cho'Gall.
Gulhish is great. On the left side of the map, in the cyan trunks, we have Midnight of Mummies with a little bit more of a classical draft. We've got Andrew playing the Leoric. Shui on the Tassadar, kind of switching up the roles there. Borishoes on the Stukov. Huckett on Tychus, and Bricky on the Diddles.
I gotta say, May doesn't particularly punish Tassadar positioning very well or quickly enough that he can't respond to it. So I think that the Tassadar pick is actually, having now seen the drafts, quite good for them. Especially when they get that Thermal Lance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They played Cho'Gall against us, didn't they?
Did they?
In the post-match.
Oh, in the post. Yeah, yes, you're right. But
no, I refuse to believe that they're like, oh yeah, that makes it legitimate. We're ready for it.
Also, Tomb does not play like Dragonshire does.
No, you need so much more macro. I refuse to. They get one win and they're like, yep, time to just cause problems.
Speaking of problems, that Blizzard was causing some for Shui and Huckett, though. Like,
yeah.
I think you've got a compositional advantage. You still have to play your comp correctly, and getting hit by raw Blizzard ain't it, Chief.
That is very, very true.
God, the commentary has gone to a strange place.
It sure has. Look, the commentary goes where the drafts go, Ektar.
Yeah, that's fair.
If the teams take us to Sillyville, we're going to go, or one of the teams takes us to Sillyville, we're going to go to Sillyville as Cho'Gall is going to take the siege camp while the committee of Midnight of Mummies goes ahead and takes the siege camp as well. And Captain Wedge is in a little bit of trouble and gets support from Wildcard, along with a skating to escape.
I really, actually, now seeing the gameplay, I like the Leo pick even more, because with one fewer body, it's harder for Durotan's Couch to rotate and pick up mid-soak consistently, so having one of the best double soakers in the game on that Leoric means that they can get that soak advantage quite easily, and we see it manifesting in almost a half a level lead already.
Yep, and they're going to be able to just channel this Dragon Knight while Shoepuff took too long to take the Bruiser camp, so this is a 2-minute DK for Midnight of Mummies, and if it was any faster, they could have probably invaded Bruisers with it.
Yeah. Wii is just putting out ruckloads of damage. The only thing I don't super love right now for Midnight of Mummies is that they're no longer soaking top lane. I'd love to see them rotate out one of their DPS to handle that in the interim, although this DK is not long for this world. Like, I understand it's still more than half health. It barely has any to begin with.
God, the kick onto Cho'Gall is so massive, though. Like, what are you going to burn the DK with? Buildings? Okay.
And I don't think there's any percent damage in Gall.
I don't think so either. That would be kind of cracked. Bricky's going to take a bunch of damage. Is going to go down, actually, during this DK phase. Shui, taking your advice, rotating up top. So, XP evened out with the kill onto Diablo. But...
Oof, Andrew getting thrown into the towers a little bit. It's going to take quite a bit of damage from Cho'Gall. I don't think he actually gets out of there. Yeah. Very nice.
Committed too far forward with that. And ported late. I think maybe if he goes up, he might be able to get help from Tassadar with the electric fence. That's about it. So, Durotan's Couch doing a good job so far, but it is early. See how this develops into the mid game as Goliath-ish is going to get aggressively pulled backwards, but not enough health on Borth's shoes and Huckett to do anything with it.
Yeah, I normally praise the team that is formerly known as Masters of Mayhem for their aggression. I think it's working out not in their favor in this game. They're putting themselves into bad positions, and it's getting them punished when I think that just naturally they have a very strong winning composition in this game. But they're just giving up so much in these little engagements.
Yeah, their advantage lies in macro. There's just nobody on the couch that does macro besides Cho'Gall. So if you can out macro them, that Horseshoes is in danger. Or was standing still for a long time. I was wondering if he was getting some lag. Horseshoes is going to go down as well with the Shadow Flame, and this is brawling out to the couch, gaining a huge lead.
Yeah, stop fighting, Mom.
Yeah.
I haven't said that since I was 5.
Oh my god. Yeah, with their comp, I like their comp. I just think maybe Tychus could have been a Sylve, possibly, to try and stretch the macro advantage while still preserving blow-up potential. Because Mind Control and the 25 Armor Dagger are incredible tools.
Yeah, and it would give them the ability to just, you know, go heck off to a lane and get some serious pressure that that Durotan's Couch are going to have a hard time dealing with. But all of these Shadow Charges, Bricky at this point is starting to take more damage than the team is doing in it. And they're actually getting pressured now so hard, they've given up so many kills that they're starting to lose out on mid-soak as well.
Yeah, that's their big advantage. Ooh, nice combination of abilities onto Wedge. But Wedge is going to survive through it. Now Shui in a terrible spot is going to receive a heal just in time, and that was an overcommit from the Cho'Gall. That's 2 kills for Midnight of Mummies, and they'll take bottom control here now.
Yeah, we got the 10s picked up now for both teams. We have, I would say, pretty expected heroics coming out from Durotan's Couch, even on the Cho'Gall. We do have Huckett going into the Draken Laser Drill. I think that's a very good pickup here. You don't want to lose out on Minigun by pushing R against Cho'Gall.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's nobody you want to poke out with Odin, which is its primary goal. It is not a DPS ability. It is I'm going to beat you with a 9-range auto attacker that does good damage.
Yeah, we have Bricky going in for a 1v3 right now into the Cho'Gall. The rest of the team is showing up, but until they got there, that was very aggressive, and a nice knockback from the Twilight Hammer is going to get Gohish on out of there.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and rotate the team on down to bottom lane for both sides. Shui's going to take a lot. A Palak combo does land on the Brightwing, but the wall, the Ice Wall from Wedge is going to knock out Boris Shoes and is a lot of backup. Shui now in a spot and is going to be taken out with the Pixie Dust to Brightwing, Gulhish going to be able to take minimal damage and escape, and this is looking good again for the couch here in the bottom lane.
It is targeted excision. I kind of like the targeted excision because they're likely going to be only hitting the Cho'Gall with that W. In a lot of cases, Wedge is going to get a nice boot back on Boris Shoes. Huckett channeling that minigun into Wedge, but is going to get taken out.
Jeez, I mean, they're just standing there, and I know they're getting a lot of damage off, but man, it's so wild having such a bulky hero be able to do so much damage right in your face.
Rip that one Archer minion that didn't get the interrupt.
Failed his job.
Alright, this is the part of the game where Shui can actually do a lot of damage, where he's nice and safe behind a wall, just able to channel Qs into the DK. Did go into the Q talent on 7, so getting that extra cooldown reduction means they can actually do a ton of damage if left unaccosted. However, rotating all of their DPS into mid lane leaves bottom right for the taking for Captain Wedge and Gulhish.
Yeah, but with so many sources of big damage, with Shui being able to stack... Oh, Shui is in so much trouble. Is going to receive Polymorph, but that is taken out, and God, it looks like the rotational game is just being dominated by Durotan's couch. They constantly are finding kills in between these lanes. Midnight and Mummies are having a bit of a, I don't know, comms breakdown or something that is really just having them take strange rotations that I know they're better players than.
Yeah, if that was the first time that some an errant rotation like that happened, I would have called it an uncharacteristic mistake, but there's been more of those than I would have expected for a team that I know is as good as Midnight and Mummies, so I don't know what's happening, but Durotan's couch is taking full advantage of it.
Yep, 6 kills and only half a level due to the extreme capability of soaking minions for, that's only 1,000 lead for Midnight and Mummies, but nonetheless, they do have some damage.
You know, for as much Doom as we've been saying for this game, and for being up a level and 6 kills, there's no buildings down.
Yep,
like, this is a very winnable game for Mom still. It's just, it doesn't feel like we're on a trajectory for them to win the game, although Cho'Gall taking a ton of damage from the minigun there.
Yeah, maybe it's the talent scaling that they need, the Leoric, although opting into the Ominous Wraith, actually going to be very effective against Cho'Gall, as it doesn't take a lot to slow him down, but he's not going for the damage, which I think is entirely fine. They already have enough % damage.
I would like to see, Tyke is really hanging on to the mid-dash so that he can get out of these blizzards, because that's really what's been ruining the team for Midnight and Mummies. It's whenever Huckett, Shui, or Boris get put into the blizzard, that just has almost always spelt doom for one of them.
Yep. Good Blizzard is going to force a team away as Shrines are coming up here. Ooh, nice pushback from Boris Shoes. They got what they're looking for. Bricky going for the, power synergy right there with the APOC combo, but I think it's going to work out. It is not. Wow, that is unfortunate with the wall there.
Yeah, it's two good plays that worked out to not working out particularly well for them.
Yep. They're going to go ahead and engage onto Wedge, but now Gulhish is going to run in from behind. Huckett is going to go ahead and get a... actually putting a nice wall, and it's going to be safe. Shui running up way too close, though, and Gulhish is going to jump right on top. Or Shoes doesn't have the arm to try and save him, and that's going to be another kill, but Brightwing's taken out on the back end of this, and maybe they can find some kills. They do. Midnight and Mummies is going to grab 2 on the Cho'Gall, and a 3rd from the Brightwing prior, so that's working in their favor, but these fights are
Wedge, what are you doing?
Mess.
What are you doing there?
Dying.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate this kill. Wedge, that was hubris. Shoopuf looking for a bit of damage into Bricky is not going to find it. I have not looked at the top lane almost at all. Doesn't have the spread on the explosions, so just looking for a damage combo. Not looking to get the spread on it, but Boris Shoes is going down here, and he's going to fight Shoopuf on bottom point. Really not a fight that they can win. And it's going to take a lot of damage from Shoopuf and Wildcard.
Oh my gosh, he got that heal off just in time. A little bit of Panic APOC from Bricky is going to force him back, but not hit anybody. So now Andrew might be able to get it. Nope, Shadow Flame as it interrupts that. Entomb's going to go and at least force Goliath and Aphish's positioning during all of this, but is not going to be followed up on by the team.
This fight is happening all over the place right now. There we go.
Every fight is.
Have to get the big zoom out just to see everything that's happening here as we had Cho'Gall going up and towards top just to fight onto Leoric, who is down the Entomb right now. DK is getting picked up by the members of Midnight of Mummies, and they are looking to finally get a building down in this game.
My goodness, I feel like this is an exhaustive sport watching this game in particular. There's just multifacets to every team fight that's just being so weird and a lot of things interacting together.
And a lot of people making individually good plays, but not quite coordinated. We saw a Shadow Charge go on to Cho'Gall at the same time as the DK tried to kick him away. We saw, obviously, earlier the APOC Force Wall not quite landing. Guys, we're going to mention talents. We do have the 16 from Cho'Gall that does the lead form. And, that's a big Blizzard is going to stun 4 members and a huge kill going out onto the healer. And honestly, Durotan's Couch are looking for more.
They sure should, but Goliath and Aphish Golhish are pulled away a little bit. There's a Brightwing Port. Huckett's going to be taken out. Ricky, don't do it. They're trying to make something happen 3v5, but it's just not a good decision here. Shui's now going to take, and the rest of the team is going to take the full force of the Twilight Nether. Now Andrew's going to go down as well, and Bricky is going to be reset on souls here. Like, that didn't need to happen. That's a 3v5 you walk away from. And instead, 3 more kills and 75 double souls are donated away.
Alright, so now I'm expecting a building to get taken out, but not in favor of Midnight of Mummies, as the first ward of the game is going to fall in the bottom lane. Camp is getting invaded as well by Shoepuff. Ricky going in 1v3 and is just going to take a whole bunch of damage. I don't think he died. Oh, the Leaden Orbs might make him die. He's dead.
This is, so we're being a little, Andrew's going to go in to, yo, Midnight of Mummies. You need to take 5 seconds in your comms and say, guys, we need to chill and get 5 people together. This is uncharacteristic, to say the least. Either it's the draft or where their position's at, but this is not a solid performance right now, as Durotan's Couch is going to push into this bottom lane and work on the keep.
Yeah, we do have a nice little Virulent coming out. Is going to push Captain Wedge back. Keep has not fallen yet. But with level 20s, it looks to be pretty much a foregone conclusion. Durotan's Couch are looking for Huckett. They get the stun. They don't get the follow-up with May, but a huge Twisting Nether is going to secure that damage. Andrew is coming up now. We've got Diablo coming up in just a moment. This is a holdable defense, but they have to not bleed out anymore here.
Andrew gets a nice little set of Ominous Wraith procs right there to create a bunch of damage. Nice combo there of the Entomb plus the Science Pool and the APOC to try and do a lot, but the damage is not flowing in here. Stukov is now taken out again as the shields fall. Shui is trying to do the best he can for damage, but is taken out as well, and now there's just another kill over here for the Couch. 20 kills now in this game. Make it a clean 21 kill salute, and this is going to be Game 2 and the series going over to Durotan's Couch.
They played more aggressive. They definitely did that.
Huh. Glad we faced them. Apparently, we just created the Durotan's Couch revival because they ran it down one game.
Yeah, we created a monster.
Okay, so we were doubting the draft.
I still doubt the draft. I
still doubt the draft. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, having seen the game, I still don't think that it was a good draft. And I don't want to take anything away from Durotan's Couch's victory, because they played their comp very well. I just don't know if that was the thing that caused them ultimately to end up winning.
Yeah. I want to see Midnight of Mummies come back from that at some point. It looked like a flustered game against a hero that is relatively unfun to play against. Look at that Cho damage, actually. Goliath actually going insane.
Yeah. Beating out the likes of Tassadar for damage is really impressive.
Goliath casually has like a level 31 Cho, so huh. Well, let's get the word from the source, Ektar, and let's go chat with the couch.
Yeah, let's do that.
Review.
Hello, and congratulations on your
Where's the
2-0
interview?
victory.
Coming to us.
I wonder when Ace is going to figure this out, because I didn't say anything. I just came over here. There he is.
Wow,
Yeah, I just realized you guys do have access to bring the interview to us.
Lobby 2 sure is a long way away today, Ektar.
Yeah, it's a whole other plane of existence, you might say.
I mean, no one goes to lobby 2. You either go to lobby 1 or 3.
That is patently false. We do everything in lobby 2 if we're able to. In fact, I had someone who was just hanging out in lobby 2, not doing anything, and I moved them so that we could do an interview in there.
Wow.
I wasn't gonna name names. I knew who it was.
All right.
But again, congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
We tried our best. You know how it is.
So
We wanted to come back after a week of losing 4-0.
Sorry?
You had
Question mark?
you had said in your internal Discord that you wanted to do some more aggressive comps. Do you feel that you succeeded in that endeavor?
No, we can do more.
I don't know.
I think we can go harder.
Yeah, we could.
This is less easing into the waters. I think we could still find ways to push the limits even further.
Well, we heard it here. They're going to run at you harder.
Yep.
Brew.
4 Bruisers and Bloodlust Rhaegar coming up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Got the
Ektar.
macro pressure as well, you know.
What up?
I don't
Yeah.
think I own any bruisers.
You're the Rhaegar.
I'll say.
Alright, so looking into game number 1, where did the Kira pick come from? Is that just something you've been working on in the shadows? Is that part of the be more aggressive? Tell us how you landed on that.
Yeah, so I'll start off. The Cura, I think, is more so something that we like if we have some other CC tools, and it's like, you know, just having that option to bring it out as something that's a bit more of a bully. But I'll let Shu take the reins for the most part on why he loves Kira, or Kahira, as he says.
She's just the best. That's all. Best champion.
Disagree.
You called
Wow,
her a champion.
rude.
See, I'm not the only one that calls him champion.
No, you're both
More than
wrong.
one person can be wrong. The Flat Earth Society isn't the Flat Earth person, but they're all wrong.
You
I
take
thought we
that
learned
back
that
right
there's
now.
I thought we learned with the sunken boats thing that if enough people give their opinion, you can eventually find it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people are going to understand that reference, but I would have to bet it's probably less than 4.
It's probably less than the amount of people in this chat channel, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the point is, you got it, and that's all I care for, Akatar.
Oh, I appreciate it. How do you feel like your comp matched up against their comp in that first game? Because Ace and I were kind of talking about it. They took Taunt Varian into Lucio, but at the same time, they had the Brightwing for the Emerald Wind, which is a pretty uncommon pick, but very anti just run at them, which is kind of how you ended up playing. So how do you feel like the team comp matchup led to your victory, or possibly made it harder?
Do you want to field this one, Sheldon?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I picked Lucio in the second pick. Lucio's a hero that I'm pretty comfortable with most of the time, and the part of it is the Dahaka is so they picked the Brightwing and the Dahaka early, I think.
Yeah, it was their 1-2, I think.
Yeah, 1-2.
Yep.
Yeah. So I really wanted the Lucio into the Dahaka because Dahaka tongue is a really powerful piece of CC, but you only need that the high five to cleanse it, which is great. I just like Lucio in general. I think he's a lot more flexible than people give him credit for, and yeah. So we knew that they did like Varian, like in our scouting. We knew that they kind of had a penchant for it, so I really didn't mind running it at all. And then for the rest of the draft, we kind of knew we wanted something a little more flexible because we know that they're also flexible. They can run a lot of different comps. So we wanted to keep things light and breezy, nice and open. And I thought Lucio could do it.
Mm-hmm. We like options, especially when we're first pick. We like to be able to do those last minute pivots just to keep people on their toes, to make them regret things that they drafted. In theory, we don't always succeed, but we try.
I know that internally, having seen some of your games, I've been a little bit critical of Durotan's Couch of not doing as much as they can with the map when they have the opportunity to do so, and I really feel, especially in this game 1, that was not the case. You were always, trying to push a fort if you had an advantage, invading your opponent's boss, whether it was a good idea or not. You're definitely always doing something, so I'd like to see that adjustment as the season has progressed.
Just adjusting to Div A things after getting used to Div B things. Getting used to having to take that shot instead of necessarily just waiting for your opponent to mess up again.
So moving right on into game number 2, explain yourselves.
What is there to explain? I think that explains, like, that's self-explanatory right there. Like, if the draft speaks for itself.
Explain yourself.
I wanted to play Brightwing, okay?
Yeah. And the most natural solution for Wildcard to play Brightwing is to draft Cho'Gall.
Don't you guys know how this game works?
I mean, Gal is perfect for me because I don't have to press buttons. I don't have to go anywhere on my own.
After
Sheldon
watching
tells me
that
exactly
game,
what to do.
I don't know how this game works.
It's a little thing we like to call the Cho Show, And we just thought it was really funny when people were betting Vikings and Hammer versus us, so we really wanted to make the triple ban, and they have to waste all 3 of their bans on something really stupid.
You did get the Kira respect ban in that second game. Notice that.
Yeah, true.
But even having seen the games play out and having watched the match, if you don't get a steady stream of kills and they just don't fight you and macro around the map, how do you ever win with Cho'Gall, Brightwing, May as your 4-man?
We find them and run them down. We're fast. Did you see how fast I was going? I took everything I could to go fast, man. I couldn't be stopped. I could run under their forts. It was pretty fun. I love playing Cho'Gall. He's like a giant bumper car.
Damn.
I mean, honestly, looking at it though, the only hero I would change out from Midnight of Mummies composition to deal with your composition is maybe the Stukov. Other than that, God, I love their comp against your comp, but you just fucking killed them.
We ran fast. That's all we had to do.
Just gotta run it down.
And then we give him Pixie Dust too, and it could fly, It's like when you have the Pixie Dust, you can fly.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Ice Wall though in the mid.
Oh, the 5-man Ice Wall. Ooh, yeah, that was pretty slick.
I found out it works on dragons, so that was cool.
Yeah,
I know it would work on the DK.
5-man Ice Wall into 4-man Blizzard, and the 5th person was the DK. What are they going to do at that point?
Turns out putting people in vehicles still is a bit of a risk, even when it's not Volskaya, which is sad to see. But
it's true. I don't think most of the time you should be landing a straight line skill shot onto 5 people anyway. But if it works, it works.
No, I think it's all the DK's fault. It's everyone just wants to group up around the dragon because people love dragons. Who doesn't want to get closer to a dragon?
Yeah, it's all Lord Nightshade's fault.
Yeah. Like, I would do the same if I was in their shoes. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you were the husband of Lady Nightshade and somehow turned into stone and also were a dragon man, I'd do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Ektar.
Ace, do you have any... I would say questions, but I know we still have questions. Do you have any other questions?
I have no answerable questions.
Fair enough. So we're going to give it on back to you guys for any shout-outs that you want to give as we come to the conclusion of this clown show.
So I'd first just like to shout out Goliath. It was his birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday, Goliath. Also, shout out to just Shoepuff, Goliath, and also 8-Bit for joining the couch for this season. We wanted to make the push into A, and we couldn't have done it without the three of them. They've been really big for helping me, Wildcard, and A-Fish push ourselves more to make this jump, and it's been really nice to see that like we can pull these wins out and we can improve as a team. So I really appreciate them coming on and just being great guys all around to be on a team with.
Thank you.
Are you?
Yeah. Other than that, shout outs to Midnight of Mummies. It's that we were walking a thin razor's edge for a lot of those games. They definitely could have they were keeping us on our toes the entire time. They did a really good job for both those games, especially in drafts. And yeah, it was a close fought game. And then yeah, just thanks for the cast, guys. Really appreciate you guys picking this up last minute.
This was with tons of lead time compared to normal. Are you kidding? We had like 6 hours where we planned this.
Yeah, but we didn't tell anyone. You just would have had to have checked your own match to see that you were in fact having a caster.
I see.
I did actually have one more question. Were you in any way inspired by the events of last week after the match? Because it sort of felt like there were echoes of that tonight.
Oh, for like when we were messing around with you guys after the Gen M game?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. We started out as a team like wanting to prioritize like macro. We want to get that down as a unit first, so we're all on the same page for what we want to do. And then our goal was after we get the macro down, so we know what plays we're going to be calling, to then go on to, all right, now let's get the team fight figured out. So personally, I feel like as a team, we're at the stage of like, all right, let's get this team fight thing figured out now. And I think that's sort of what we're seeing now by trying to run at people more and be more aggressive.
You get the macro figured out, then just throw it straight out the window and go shoot Mage Cho'Gall Brightwing.
Well, now we know how to take up the opportunities of kills and man advantage and extend that further on a map, get more objective value, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's a pendulum swing. You had it far to the left, now it's far to the right, and the real Durotan's couch is somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere.
Well, it depends. We swap it from game to game.
We swap out what type of brain we decide to have. This one decided to have the wormy one.
We found this one deeper in the cushions. Let's try this one.
It had some worms growing out of it. Yeah, that's pretty normal.
This one was
usually fungus, but
this one was labeled Abby Normal.
AB Normal. Those are way better grades than I normally get.
All right, well, thank you for the interview. Not that you could have avoided us anyway. We'll follow you to whatever Discord you want to go into. And good luck with the rest of your season, and we will catch you guys next time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have yourselves a good night.
All right, back to casting Lobby 2.
The superior lobby number.
Indeed. There is not another NGS game, or another NGS cast going on for like an hour and a half. So, not going to be able to raid you onto a cast. However, Season 14's most substantially improved prolific caster, Gimme More Cosplay, is doing a POV stream of her match tonight. Fensad versus another team. I didn't actually see which one they're playing against, but that's where we're going to get the raid on sent over for.
Sounds good. I've paid out all the heals. Congrats. Stick around for more, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.